For the past 6 years, I helped over 5,000 videographers scale their business. And let me tell you something, guys. Running ads is by far the most profitable and fast way to get clients consistently, predictably, something that will actually help you build a business. But most videographers either wait for years until they run ads, or they never run ads because they are afraid it's a waste of time. They don't know how to do that. They tried it once, but it didn't work. They spent $300, $1,000. They boosted a reel. They boosted show reel, whatever. It didn't work. They didn't figure this out, and now they think it's just a waste of time and money, and so they go back into word of mouth. And let me tell you something. Yeah, word of mouth is great to begin with, but there's a huge limit to word of mouth. The most obvious one, and you probably know this, is confidence, right? There's no confidence in that. 1 month you're here, the next month you're here. That's the first thing. The second thing is word of mouth is usually bringing you more of the same. So if you got clients that on average pay you $3K, but you actually want to charge $8K for a project, you keep on getting those $3K because, colleagues tell their colleagues, and you just stay in the same cycle. And so with ads, you can target higher paying clients by saying different things, by saying different messages that resonate with those type of clients. And I'm going to show you this in a second. What I want to do in this video is to break your belief into how ads can perform for your business, so you can have the confidence. Like, the minute you finish watching this video, you'll be like, okay, I need to run ads. I'm going to run ads. That's it. Because you'll see the math behind it. And just like what Alex Hormozi said, business is math. And if you know your numbers, there's no reason you shouldn't spend more. Or another way that Russell Brunson put it is that if you can spend $1 to make $2, why would you ever stop? Sorry, there's a typo. Why would you ever stop if you created a machine that you put $1 in and you get $2 out? Now, again, I've been doing this for so long, guys, just to give you some confidence that this thing actually works, and it's not just me coming up with stuff. I gather some testimonials for you if you like. So Ricardo is one of my students from Spain. As soon as he started running ads, he was like, hey man, the ad is working, 27 leads so far. He was having a hard time closing them at the beginning. The month went on. What happens usually when we start running ads is that, the leads are not as good, and then we optimize and the leads get better, and then you start closing. And so we started optimizing. His cost per lead went to $4.36, and he, within 18 days, got 49 leads. Now, he was overwhelmed with all the leads, so he actually hired somebody to help him with the calls, and then he closed 6K. Let's do the math. I'm going to show you that when you know the math, then this whole thing becomes a no-brainer, right? So let's do the math for a second. How much? Yeah, he spent 4.36 per lead and got 49 leads. So that is $213 to get, how much? 6K back. He spent $200 to get $6,000 back. So that means he got 6,000 divided by 237, was it? So yeah, he got 25x return on his investment. Now let's go on another student, Peter. He got a total amount of 116 leads. Again, we're talking about just the first period of my mentorship program. This does not include what happened afterwards. So I don't know if you know this, but Peter, he was a student who built his business basically from just one-man show to now he has like 10 employees plus. So this was first 45 days in the program. So let's do the math. 116 times 8.42 per lead. So he spent just shy of $1,000 to get almost 8K. So again, 8x return on ad spend. And this is Marcel. Just a few weeks ago, she already started running ads, started getting leads pretty fast. Cost per lead, it's a joke, less than $2. Now, I don't want to set wrong expectations. When you start running ads, usually you see higher cost per lead, and the leads are not as good, but that's okay. That's when we optimize stuff. So what I want to do now is to walk you through the math of stuff so you will have the confidence to run ads yourself. And before I start and sharing the math, one thing that is very important, and it doesn't matter if you're a videographer, it doesn't matter if you run $1 million business. The same principle I'm going to tell you now applies. And that is 80%, if not more, I would say even 90%, of your campaign success is predicated on the creative, meaning on the video or image you use as an ad. And the reason it matters so much is because that is the message you go out with. This, what you say and what you show, will determine if the person on the other side will decide to take an action, either come on a call with you, buy your stuff, whatever that is. This is your money-making moment, the creatives. And so if you're going to go live with ads, I see a lot of people spending a lot of time on the funnel itself, like, improving their website, improving their portfolio, improving the form, improving all the other stuff that, in my opinion, you should spend like 10%, 20% there. 80% of what you do, like the majority of the time, should be spent on creating new creatives and testing them out. Because this is by far, and guys, I'm telling you this after not only teaching videographers, but making ads for clients for the past 10 years. And it's probably much more than that, but my ads are accounted for around $5 million for my clients accumulated, if not more. I believe it's more. But I kind of like did the test, and I was conservative at around 10%. Never mind. Anyway, now that you understand this, let's dive into the math. Okay? Now, the number one reason I see videographers fail when it comes to their ads is that they start running their ads, they put $10, $20, $30 a day on ads, and then they don't see results, but every day they put money out, and then they start getting super stressed, and they say, this thing doesn't work, I just throw money at this, and then it's just wasting money. So they quit after like $300, $500. And they don't understand that it's part of the learning process. You cannot expect to go live with ads and be successful with day one, right? So that's what we call a landing strip. Not a landing strip, it's like, I have a word for this in another language, so I'm trying to do the translation. Anyway, look at your campaign like an airplane. Before an airplane can take off, it needs to have a runway. Runway, that was the word. So we need to create a runway. Runway will give us enough breathing room before we can take off. Now, runway meaning you allocate a certain budget. Like every serious business, allocate a budget for marketing. So you need to allocate marketing budget as well. So my suggestions, no less than 1K. 1K for your runway, your first runway before you see the plane taking off. That is the bare minimum. If you can have more, that's great. But $1,000, you should absolutely have results, as you saw with my students. So now let's do the calculation on a $1,000 runway, okay? And so let's say you spend $1,000 on ads. And let's say your cost per lead is $50. Look, I'm trying to be super pessimistic to show that even the pessimistic scenario is good, right? Because my clients, my students, 4.36 per lead, $8 per lead, $2 per lead, okay? So even if, and by the way, some of my students, their cost per leads are higher, like 20, 30, but it's still, it's a non-issue once you understand the numbers. So let's say you spend $1,000, your cost per lead is $50. That means you got 20 leads. Now, out of those 20 leads, not everyone is qualified, not everyone is answering. Let's say only 10 of them are qualified, some answered. Now, let's say you're not really good at sales, so your closing rate are really bad. Let's say it's 10%. That means out of those 20 leads, you only closed one sale, right? 10% out of 10, because those are the qualified one. And let's say on average, you only charge $2,500. Again, I'm being pessimistic. I hope a lot of you are charging 5 to 10 to 20K per project. We'll get to it. But let's say you only charge 25K per project. That means your cash collected is 2,500 and you just got 2.5 ROAS, return on ad spend. So you spent $1,000 to get 2.5 back. Not a bad deal if you ask me. Now again, this is pessimistic. What if this client is not just a one-time client? Because let's be honest, guys, most of you, if you do good work, clients come back. So it's not really one-off projects. And I'm not even talking about retainers. Retainers is a completely different thing. So let's say you stay on one-off projects, which I'm not for. I'm teaching my students to take most of their business retainers because it's much more scalable. And so let's say you only do one-off projects and your LTV or lifetime value, the average time that a client stays with you is at least 4 times, like 4 projects. That means that you just got 10K back, right? 2,500 times 4, that's 10K. So you actually spend $1,000 to get $10,000 back. Again, not a bad investment if you ask me. Now what happens if everything stays the same? You only double your price. You spend $1,000 to get 20K back. Again, not a bad investment if you ask me. Let's get back to the 2,500. Now what happened if your cost per lead goes down in half? $25. Again, same outcome. You see how I'm playing with the numbers. No matter how I play with them, it's like super positive. And guys, the reason this is super positive, even in the most pessimistic scenario, is because video productions are a premium product. It's not like, I used to work with e-com brands where their average product sells for like, I don't know, $20. When you sell a product for $20, you need to have a low cost per sale and high volumes. This is not the case. Like if you're selling your service at 25, 5K, 10K, you can spend a lot of money to acquire a client. And that's the beautiful thing here. And so when you figure out, wait, I'm spending $1,000 to get 5 back. Why not just, bump this up? And then you go, fuck 10, like 1,000. Let me put 2. And then you're at 10K, lifetime value 40K. That's 2, 4. 20K cash collected, 80K lifetime value. You get where I'm going with this. This is exactly how I help my student cross the 100K mark, 100K income mark. And so, guys, I'm so pissed. I mean, sorry, I'm not angry at you. It's nothing personal, but I'm so angry with videographers, not just videographers, any creative freelancer that base her whole business on word of mouth. Like, you do not understand the huge potential you have. Especially, I see so much of you that are so freaking talented and you just don't know how to market yourself. And so I always give this analogy. Think about it like this. If hypothetically, I made all the people in the world aware of what you offer, of your service, just because of your talent, you would have a line of people waiting for your service. That's the truth. But the problem is you don't have enough eyeballs. No, you don't need to improve your portfolio. You don't need more gear. You don't need 90% of the stuff you think you need. No. Guys, you need to run ads. And with ads, I'm talking you only need one winning ad. All you see here for my students, this is not from like a million, like tens of thousands of ads. No, they tested several ads. They got on a winning ad, and then they scale that ad specifically. And that's it. Now, I know it might sound too good to be true, but it is what it is. The problem is most videographers creative freelancers are just afraid to go down this route because at the beginning it feels like you're throwing money. But guys, if you can, go through this phase, let's call it the ugly phase. If you can go through the ugly phase and you can get to the other side, when you put $1 in and you get $2 out, I freaking promise you, you will never go back to anything else for getting clients. No more cold calling, emails, freaking, I don't know, like even word of mouth will look like, what the hell? No, like you can create a machine for your business that gives you money on demand. Okay, so hope this helped anyone. If you want my personal help, would actually help you like go live with ads, build the campaigns and everything, I will leave a link down below so you can schedule a call with me. We'll take a look at your business, and if I think that I can really help you, then we'll take it further. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below if this was helpful and if you want to see more videos like this in the future. Yalla, bye.